Hello and welcome to a new video. I'm Susanne from Susie's Journal Adventure, and today this is going to be a flip through video of my journals for the series Junk Journal January 2024. When you watch this video, it is already January, and I'm one of the artists for the Junk Journal January series in 2025. I will upload my video on January 17th, and I'm working for the prompt Fragile. So stay tuned. The series is hosted by Make Journals, and I will link all the information down below in the description box. So today I want to give you a flip through of my Junk Journal January journals. I actually made 2 of them of 2024. So I made 2 of these journals because one was not enough, obviously. I didn't plan to make 2 of them, but it turned out that the space was not enough in the first journal. So I made another one during the challenge. And I made these with jeans covers. I love working with jeans when I make my covers. I made some messy collaging with fabric scraps, some hand stitching, and I added an old handkerchief. Between the layers, I will later show you how I made this. Between the layers of the journal, or I actually sewed it behind the jeans material. I will show you later on how the cover turned out from the inside. And I love this size. This is approximately 12 by 12 centimeters, and the spine is approximately 4 to 5 centimeters. Just to give you an idea, I really love this smaller size. I actually don't like very much working in bigger journals. I think I'm really overwhelmed when I have a big journal page in front of me. So I think this is much more inspiring when the journal is smaller. So you can see here all the fabrics and scraps peeking out, the messy thread. I had here some lace or doilies that I dyed with acrylic inks and acrylic paints before I added them to the journal. This is a piece from trousers, as well as the jeans material. This is rust dyed and coffee dyed fabric, and here again the acrylic ink dyed doily, some lace ribbon here. Messy threads. I love everything messy. And I did some machine stitching here as well with black thread. Some stitching around the journal cover. The closure is a piece of a lace. This is actually elastic lace. And this is the inside. I love if this is messy as well. I could have sewn on another layer to cover this up, but you know, I didn't think this is necessary. So this is a really chunky journal, as you might see here. So it does not lay flat anymore. I hope you can see everything. So here I glued down some pieces of the printable for Junk Journal January, just to have some kind of an introduction page. the year so that I can easily look up when I made this journal. And this is the first spread that I made, and I think this was even the first prompt. You know, when I work in those journals with these challenges and with the prompt lists that they provide, I don't go through my journal chronologically. I always flip through and then decide on which page I want to create for this special prompt. But here I think the first spread was the first prompt as well. So I just did some collaging, I think some gesso, some scribblings and marks with, I don't know, this could be my new colors. And I wrote here no resolutions, and I love this calmer color scheme here. So I will show you what I did here. I have to zoom you out a little bit. So I made this fun spread for the prompt, whimsical. I always love cutting out the prompts and gluing them down or stamping them on the journal page so that I can see for which prompt I made this page. And I love this page so much. This is a Tim Holtz paper doll. I glued down some ribbon, tied this bow, and I gave her some, I don't know, this could be some abstract flowers or balloons in her hand. Did some mark making in the background, and yeah, I love it. This is so much fun. So when I go through this journal together with you now, this is really the first time that I flip through this journal since I made it, I guess. So this is really new for me and exciting to flip through it again. So what did I do here? It is something odd. This is obviously a tag, but I don't know if... Oh, yeah, this is the... I just thought this would be part of this spread, but it is not. It is part of another prompt. Here it goes in here, in this envelope. And the prompt says, quote. And I just did some fun tag. I love using translucent materials. I don't know, I guess this was a piece of, this is some self-adhesive sticker paper, I guess, translucent. Did some collaging, some thread, added some glitter, a tag topper. I love it. I mean, I'm totally obsessed with tags. Tags are always so much fun. It's something that I'm sure I'd never experience anywhere else in the world. It is something odd. This goes together, and this is actually cut out from an old book that I use, and I love opening a book, going through the page and finding some interesting quotes that you can add into another context on a journal page. I love this. So this is empty. This was the prompt neutral. Obviously I decided to use neutral colors. I added some thread here, transparency or a vellum. This is a vellum paper. So many possibilities. Just did some collaging. I made this tip in here with another fun tag. And here again a little cluster stapled on. Oh, oh yes. I remember this spread, memory. So this is totally very, very naive and childlike. So I glued down, yes, glued down this piece of a, I don't know, scrapbook paper thingy. I added these stickers, and I just wanted to make a journal page that reminds me of actually my childhood, because this is obviously very, very childlike. So this is so much fun. Eclectic. I made this page and combined different materials, different styles. I mean, there's this coffee dyed paper and fabric scrap again, combined with modern neon colors. And I think here is everything that I love to use in my journals on this little tiny space here, as well as here. This is an interactive element that I made. Oh yes, I can remember. Daily log. Breathe in, breathe out, and repeat. And I just made this swirl thingy that is a symbol for this thing that repeats, and that repeats throughout your whole life. So you can see here are a lot of empty pages. I just want to show you, I made 3 signatures here. Oh yes, this is really another childlike page. And this was so much fun. I can remember I cut this out from a sheet of some kind of a paper that you work on in the kindergarten. And we had to cut out these elements and glue them down on these, what is this called? I don't know what this is. We had to find the right pattern here that fits to the patterns on the cutout elements, and we had to glue them down. And I found this, and I had to add it here, obviously, as well as this. This is a bookmark that I made when I was a child. I love this so much. This is an original. I think this is a copy. And I wanted to add this to this belly band here. And I added an original drawing here from my childhood. This is so much fun. Oh, here I made a paper clip with dried ginkgo leaves, a heart-shaped button, thread, and this fun dangle. I added a cluster here, very simple collage. Oh, and if you wonder, I'm still having glue on my fingers because I am working on some fabric containers. Let me just show you. I'm just gluing down some fabric scraps to get a container in the end, and this is still really wet. I don't like this process at all because you have glue everywhere, or at least I have it everywhere. Okay, oh, I love this. This is an old postcard, and I did some hand stitching here. This is a river, and added this lace here, some thread, and the prompt was stitched. Go with the flow. I think this goes with this river theme here. What was this? Oh, the prompt was layered. Oh yes, and I made this, how do you call it? They have a special name, I guess. I made this sample thingy here with some paper scraps that I combined. I sewed it together, added this cluster. And it says it's the little things that make life big. Oh, this was the prompt borders. And I made this collaged woman here. I draw a woman's face on a book page, cut it out, added "Don't cross my borders," added this jelly print element in the background. Yeah. No matter what you expect, you're wrong. I think this was so much fun. Adding down these dried petals here. Added some glitter glue on top. I know this glitter glue is really, really... I don't love working with it because it takes ages to dry. The prompt was garden. Yeah, I cut out this image from a magazine. Oh, another interactive element. Tuck spot was the prompt. And I took this paper doll, left it basically as she was, and I made her this cape thingy. I think this is called cape, or at least in Germany we would call this a cape. And you can add her here. And then she has a really long dress. I love these interactive elements. This prompt was flow. When I look at this now, this is a really, really big mess. I just did some random applying of some paints on this spread. I didn't think at all when I made this, obviously. But yeah, I think it's fun. But if you ask me if I like it, I would probably say no. Oh, this is, yeah, I remember this. This was the prompt opposites, wasn't it? Yes, opposites. I made 2 tags with some bugs. And this was a homemade carved stamp. Let me show you. So this is the stamp that I carved. And this is exactly the stamp that I used here on these tags. And here I added Nacht for night and Tag for day. Did some collaging here. Opposites are complementary. This was the prompt pattern. What are your patterns of thought? And I just added some rectangular shapes here. I mean, this was a really quick one. I remember I was not feeling very inspired when I made this, and I think you can see it on the journal spread. But I mean, that's the reality. Yeah, you're not inspired every day, but I really wanted to do something every day, and so I forced myself And I think this is really good to stay consistent. So she makes me laugh. I used a paper doll again. I cut off her head and I colored it a little bit, put this thread underneath and gave her another head. When you open this flap, I used some stickers and some cutout elements from jelly prints that I made. The things in my head. Obviously, she's thinking about unicorns, eggs, and flowers. Here I cut out 2 heads from magazines and I combined them, made some hand stitching with thin sewing machine thread, added the star, some clusters here, torn apart but still one, and the prompt was torn edges. Yeah, and then, I mean, you see this is really bulky, and I had still, I mean, probably 15 prompts left. I had empty pages in here, but I really didn't want to add more in this journal. This was already bulky enough. So I made a second one, a twin, this one. And it's basically identical to the first one in composition and materials. This was the spread for the prompt grungy. Here I added the prompt. I made some grungy clusters with some elements that I always have laying around on my desk. Made this fun safety pin. Is this a... no, this is just glued down. This is the journal spread for the prompt geometric. I just cut out some random shapes and added this quote. Geometry is the archetype of the beauty of the world. Again, a really simple journal spread, I guess. And yeah, this was a really fast one. Oh, and this one was another interactive element. This is a pop-up journal spread. I love it. I love the colors and I love this pop-up thing. That is really, really easy to make, but it gives so much, it adds so much interest to the page. We are all travelers in time. I added here. The prompt was travel, by the way. I love it. Here I made a tag. This was meant to be like a mirror. I added, what do you see? The prompt was reflect. I added this vintage photo and this cluster. Oh, here I did some fabric weaving for the background. This is a weird spread. Very, very busy, and I think this paper doll does not pop out really. I would probably not do this the same way if I did it again now. Fabric was the prompt. The prompt bookshelf. I cut out some rectangles from jelly prints, made this abstract bookshelf, added these as books, and wrote down you have to finish a chapter before you can start a new one. Oh, and this is kind of like a children's book page. You know, these books where children can go through with their fingers and explore the textures and make sounds with things. And I wanted to create a journal spread in this style because the prompt says texture, and I wanted to make a journal spread with as many textures as I can add and sounds. So I made this pocket with the glitter. I added these what are they called, beads? No, what are these things called? These are kind of like big stickers. Jeans material, this rougher material, lace, the stars here, some vellum thread, and I really love it. This makes me laugh. This is the page for the prompt. What's the prompt? Oh, translucent. So yeah, this was the first time when I did hand stitching on plastic, and I love it. You can see the hand stitching not only from the front. I mean, if you stitch on a regular piece of fabric, you could only see the stitching on one side, and you would not see how the thread goes on the back side of the fabric. And on plastic, of course, this is possible. You see the front stitching and the back stitching. And yeah, I think this is so much fun. I made some other elements and journal spreads where I use hand stitching on plastic after I made it the first time, and I love it. Here I cut out a moth from, I think, from a book. The prompt was nature. Added some glitter on top. I made this tuck spot here and this tag. Express your needs. What do you need? The prompt for this pocket was peeking out. And I combined these two prompts so that they go together well on the spread. This was the prompt ombre, I guess. So I made a background in this ombre effect. I added these cutout ladies from a vintage photo or a magazine. I think this was a magazine. I made this weird layered collage on this vintage photo. Added a tag topper to have a tag that goes in here. Did some hand stitching. Added these plastic beads here. And as you can see, I used a lot of my neon thread on these pages. What prompt was this page for? I don't know. Embrace beautiful chaos. Maybe this was the prompt because I didn't add the prompt here. Well, I just did some layering with some different mediums here. I don't know, maybe acrylic ink. No, these were watercolors. Yes, watercolors that I purchased at that time. Yes, I remember. Made this easy cluster here. And that was basically everything that I did on this page. Lyrics for this prompt, I made a pocket here and added the lyrics. There's a universe inside that no one else can see, a world inside where I'm alone with me. And this journal spread was dedicated to all the introverts out there. And I think this fish, I don't know, but I think this fish is a perfect symbol for introverts. I don't know why, but this came to my mind, and I think, yeah, this is a really perfect combination here. And I think this must have been the last prompt, yes. So this was the flip through of my 2 Junk Journal January 2024 journals. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're following along the prompts for this year's Junk Journal January. Don't forget to watch all the inspiring videos that you can find on Mac Journal's playlist. Thank you so much for watching again, or for watching the first time if you're new on my channel. I hope to see you soon in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye!